Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. From the deepest jungles to the outmost reaches of space and beyond the veils of death itself, the Bald and Bonkers Boys are back for another episode. It's no secret that you won't know what will happen next, but Dakota Franson and Chris promise that all bets are off. Viewer discretion and straitjackets advised. These two idiots live up to the name.
And if you're here, subscribe to our TikTok channel, you could have heard some of the pre-show context.
It was a joke.
That
It was a joke. It was Jenny that did it to me.
Jenny, your girlfriend like that.
Jenny told me. Got me today a thing on a voice message for her when she was out for dinner, and I said it a few times to her, and then I clicked it. It clicked, and I'm not going into it. I'm not going into it. Honestly, Jenny. I was trying to get Dakota to say it and didn't realise it was live at the start. Do you know it never buffered for me tonight? It worked out perfectly.
Yeah, hopefully Streamlabs fixed up whatever was wrong on their end.
Well, I must admit, Streamlabs is better than StreamYard because StreamYard's all shit.
Yeah, StreamYard's definitely went downhill. But anyway, I will say this since you brought it up that how dirty your girlfriend actually is. Happy late birthday, Jenny!
Happy birthday! I was telling them the joke about the fruit that you were getting me to say.
Yeah, what kind of fruit?
What
kind of fruit, Christopher?
The ones that you make Ribena with, you know.
Well, no, what was it?
I can't say it because I can't pronounce it right, and I always comes out at the exact same thing. I'm not want to be chased through the street with mobs of people and burning torches just because I can't pronounce it. Yeah, so write it in the chat for everybody. Write it in the chat for everybody. I don't want to offend any people out there.
Oh, yeah, fucking right. I know that's full of shit.
Well, there you go. You know what I mean? You know, we'll need to send that one to Dots to see if he'll say it for us, you know? Yeah.
Well, people can actually understand Dots.
Hey, the new. How's that? I mean, he's Irish, right? And he's like, "Dip in the morning tea there. I'm sitting here drinking my tea and looking at my Lucky Charms." I can think, right?
It's not as strong, though.
Well, you saying my accent's stronger than Dots?
Yeah, I could understand Dots right away. You, it took 3 months. When we first met, it took me about 3 months to figure out what the hell you were saying.
Hey, Captain, we can't take no more. The reactor core's gonna overheat. There he goes. Star Trek.
Wow.
What? At least it's not that thing that you tell me to say about the black thing. That's terrible.
And you're the one that was preaching it. I mean, you do realize TikTok records all the lives.
I didn't get it was on.
There's archives to prove this. There's archives.
Well, it's only a jape. I can't pronounce certain words. It's a problem that I've got.
Yeah, no, you Scottish can't really deal with English well, can you?
That's very true. But we did invent everything. You know, where would you be without Scotland? We invented the telephone. We invented the steam engine. We invented many, many things. People would.
Where would we be without Scotland? Sober.
How would we want to tell you this? Whiskey time.
Oh,
so,
God.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight is another Bald and Bonkers episode. What are we talking about tonight, Dakota? What strange things lurk in the darkness?
Well, because of the little shadow incident last week, I got to thinking, no, we normally had some hesitation in doing this particular type of show because we usually take the audio recordings and move it on to Spotify, iHeartRadio, all of those. But I think with everything going on in the world, we need to practice a little bit more discernment about things that are happening, especially, just as an example, the mummies showed down in Mexico.
Oh, God. So what's your opinion?
Honestly, no, I'll prelude this by saying there's been several things that have been claimed to have been faked over the years that they're now saying are real. So maybe this is one of those cases. But those got debunked years ago.
I know. They do look a bit fake. And I'm going to say this, they look too good to be true.
I mean, if they're legitimate finds, awesome. Okay, who are they? Where did they come from? But there's been several people who have examined those mummies, ran DNA tests, and found that they were, if I remember off the top of my head, there was some human DNA found, but as well as fish and dog. This is just off the top of my head on how the structure was actually made in the first place. You know, someone we've actually had on the show, Barry Fitzgerald, he was involved in those DNA tests. And even he's like, what the fuck is going down in Mexico?
I think they're just trying to join the bandwagon. They're probably hoping that, what's the word I'm looking for? All the UFO people go there and help the tourist industry kind of thing. That's what they're hoping for, to be purely honest with you. I don't think they're real. I think they're fake. They're fake.
Yeah.
You know? Well, actually, get somebody in the chat there, the Scottish Outlook, and he sent me a video. What's your opinion on that? That's crazy, guys, honestly.
That was an interesting little video, and we're going to get to that. And Dots is also mentioning that shadow that popped up. It was odd, and my reaction probably sold people on the idea that maybe it was something legit. But the more I looked into it, I even ran it through an AI enhancement software. I'm convinced I may have duped myself.
It was a fly.
I'm convinced. Well, shall we play the clip?
Play the clip.
So we can. All right. We'll see if we can get it to bring it up for us. Do. See if it'll actually work for me. Why is it the one that is actually good with computers the one that always has issues?
Right. The Galilians don't want you to show it.
I know. And
the
number. I'm bringing it up. Hold on. Un momento, por favor. Come on.
Meanwhile,
work, damn you! I mean, even your girlfriend was tickled by it.
I will admit, Jenny was. She thought it was very interesting.
Here we go.
I've watched it since
okay,
it passed.
Here we go.
Because I find it quite hard to watch this stuff since it passed. But guys, honestly, you want to check out Mike's channel, right? Mike's channel was just amazing, right? The stories, the knowledge, everything there. It's in the chat, guys.
You know, I'll be honest. I'm convinced it may have been a fly. I was swinging at one earlier in the show, but
everything there. It's in the chat, guys.
What the fuck? And look how the AI enhanced my eyes.
What's that growling I can hear?
Yeah, no, somebody else made a note of it. I only thought
I can hear something growling.
Okay, at first I thought it was just how the sound was processed when I slowed it down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Here, we'll bounce it back a little bit. Just before the slowdown starts.
Amazing, right? The stories, the
Quite
knowledge.
weird that happened.
Guys.
What the fuck? You can even look at the end here, where it's partially translucent, right where the fly's wings would have been.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's been some people that say if that was a fly, it was the size of Jeff Goldblum. If it was Jeff Goldblum, this would be a very different conversation.
That is the voice sound.
Yeah. Someone on Instagram was wondering about that. It's like, I think that's just the sound being affected.
That's some face
it slowed down.
That is some face you've just pulled there.
I know, right? Almost gives me a Pixar look.
I mean, do you not find it strange when we were talking about Mike at the time that, and you kind of he was. I'm not saying it's paranormal, but you know, a few times when we've been talking about Mike, these strange things have happened.
Even after the man died, strange shit kept happening. I mean, hell, look what happened when we first met him. All those weird voices that were coming through.
Mm-hmm.
That's too bad. That
he sounded like a Cylon.
Yeah, he was sounding like a Cylon. He had weird static coming through that honestly sounded like the beginning of an alien invasion movie.
Yep. Mike, if you can hear this transmission, could you please try and do it again tonight for Dakota? Save him coming across the Atlantic, you know.
Right. But here's another thing you got to consider. It's where I live.
Mm-hmm.
It's September. It's harvest. You should see the bugs covering the side of my house when I'm trying to just get in, coming home from work in the mornings.
Mm-hmm. My opinion is this. I think it's very odd. Right? It's definitely very, very, very odd, and I don't think we're ever going to know if it's real or it's a fly or it's a ghost or it's something out of this world. I don't think we're ever going to know that. But it could have been a little flyer, like a little moth that's climbed onto the screen or it's flew past the screen. But what I thought was quite funny is where your door is, where the light switch is. I did see like something going out there, like a light orb. And I ken there's folk that don't like believe in orbs and stuff like that, but ken something I don't give a fuck. I believe in orbs, right? So there's yes, you get dust and stuff like that, but this had colour to it and it had motion, how it was moving, and it went straight out the door just at round about the same time as it happened.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the quality of the capture when I tried to screen record it wasn't all the best, so try to look for it.
Yeah. I'll go back and see if I can find it. I'll watch it on my iPad and then take a screenshot when I think I see it.
But unfortunately, that's the thing, though. We have to acknowledge when it comes to this type of research, there's going to be times where we're going to get disappointed by it being something normal.
Of course it is. I mean, look at the people that go out and look for aliens and UFOs, and they'll be like, oh, look, it's E.T. But it's it's a satellite. Mm-hmm. Right? Or, oh, look, it's aliens. It's a balloon. Okay, I mean, it's going to happen. Okay, I mean?
Yeah. And honestly, it honestly feels like to me that disclosure is slowly becoming a new age religion. And people aren't using the right discernment and only prepping themselves to get really screwed over.
I mean, we had NASA the other day talking about it. Our little alien friends. Which I've not watched yet. I've not had a chance to watch it yet. But I don't think it'll be long before everything's out in the open. But I was shocked when it first came out about disclosure and stuff like that. And that hearing, the Senate hearing. And nobody really blinked an eyelid. I thought there was going to be people like committing suicide and throwing themselves out windows and mass cults and all that kind of stuff. And it didn't really do anything. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. You know, I was talking with someone last night and we were kind of getting into the subject a bit. We're living in times where a new, potentially end-of-the-world scenario is being tossed into the public weekly basis.
Yeah.
New viruses, alien invasion, war. And let's face it, shit is happening. And right now, everybody with inflation, people are just trying to figure out how the hell they're going to make it to the next paycheck.
I will say this. I do think something's going to happen soon on a grand scale. I don't know if it's going to be war with China. There's talk in the street with China invading Taiwan. But to be honest with you, this is the time of year when they do their training and their exercises and stuff like that. And there was one guy filmed the trains or the tanks, and he says, "Oh, look at the Chinese! They're moving the tanks. The Chinese are moving the tanks." I went and researched that. They weren't the Chinese tanks. They were actually American Abrams going to get serviced in America, right? So, what do you believe? There's so much fear porn out there, and you've got to remember too. There's a lot of big channels out there that make a lot of money out of fear porn. Oh, there's got to be a nuclear war. That's it. Get ready. And they've got 500,000-600,000 views. And then the next day they'll put another one out. There's got to be a nuclear war. Please buy my book. And then the next day they'll do it. And they'll just do that for like years on end.
And people keep falling for it.
And people keep falling for it. Because I'm sorry to say this, there's people out there that are complete and utter idiots.
And that's the other thing. The so-called enlightened bunches, it almost feels like they've let themselves feel like they're some sort of elite because they're allegedly awake to everything that's going on. And they're completely abandoning everybody else.
Yeah.
There's a total disconnect with the purpose of humanity itself.
Yeah.
And if it was just, debating over, oh, look at that random light in the sky, I think that might be a UFO. That's one thing. But this is also extending to situations where people are losing their lives.
Yeah.
I mean, have you seen that clip going around, especially on TikTok, saying it's out of Morocco just before the earthquake?
Is that the one with the strange lights in the sky?
Where it looks like there's something rotating in the sky, and
Aye.
There's bright flashes of light, and it
Aye.
sounds like the freaking tripods at a War of the Worlds charging up.
No.
And they're trying to say it's out of Morocco, but the text is blocking like half the video. I'm sorry, I'm not convinced that one's real.
No. There's a lot of which I've noticed that there's a lot of fake UFO stuff out there where you can clearly see it's fake, but there's so many people just believe it.
I know.
And it's like I watch Elena's stuff in that, and she's the real deal, guys. See Elena, she is the real deal. And you get people on TikTok saying, and it really annoys me, and they're like, "Oh, the Greys want you to donate money to me because I am the chosen one." The Greys want you. I mean, these are people. They're just making stuff up. They're just making it up. They're sitting there making it all up, and then there's people like actually Elena that's actually doing a good job in things, and you know what I mean. It gives other people bad names, though. I mean,
it does.
It does.
And it gets ridiculous that people on all sides are falling for the drama.
Yeah.
We're falling into the very trap of us versus them.
Yeah.
Try to slap the deep state claims. Maybe it is. That would be a typical move on their part. But you're still erasing the fact that these are still human beings at the end of the day. Yeah. Who are just as much victims if this was some sort of attack.
Yeah. Be good to remember there's a lot of people in this UFO community and paranormal community that's no in this to discover if there's life after death or there's extraterrestrials. They're in this to become famous and rich. That's all they care about is dollars, dablo, money. That's all they care about. And for those people that want to become famous and all that, some of them I actually respect, some of them I know, and they're really good at what they do. But then there's people out there that try to do it just because they want money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, without a doubt.
Oh, is this a Scottish Outlookers video?
I believe so.
Right, guys, it was 3 seconds long, but I taken it to 13 seconds long. I made it 13. As you can see, you see 2 dots. See them?
Yeah.
But if you change the colour and the contrast, oh my goodness.
Hey, you just made it. Looped it, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
It's so I could do it. I couldn't stretch it out anymore.
Mm.
But the other one zoomed in. The one with the contrast has been zoomed in, which you'll see better.
Oh, let's bring that one up. Oh, shit.
Nope.
Oh, fuck. I took down the one we were supposed to watch. Damn it.
No!
Oh, god damn it.
He's playing too much with the buttons, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. The bear in mind, all Scottish Outlook I could see was 2 dots. But when I changed the colour and the heat, the contrast, there's 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what intrigues me. You know what? Well, honestly,
there'll be people out there that.
What's that?
I bet there'll be people out there. I bet there'll be people out there and they'll be like, "Oh, that's Starlink." Right? Let me get this straight. It's a clear sky night. Only 2 of them are showing, but when you change the contrast, 4 of them show. Starlink would show all of them up. They wouldn't have cloaking abilities just for 2. Get what I mean? There's something
Starlink,
there. There's some.
If it was Starlink, it would be all a straight line.
Of course, it would be.
No.
The question is that a triangle or is that what you call it, a rectangle?
Let's try to pause it to see where we see all 4. I mean, the goes to the question: is that just one craft, or is that multiple, or were the 2 that Scottish Outlooker could see the main ones, and somehow these other 2 that got brought out in editing? Was that some sort of weird reflection from the original? I don't know what I mean.
I don't think it's one ship. I think it's 4 ships. He said when he started videoing that they disappeared instantly, right?
Usually how it goes.
So did they know whoever they are knows that we're getting filmed? Maybe they didn't realise that the other 2 orbs or whatever they are were showing. I mean, even when they disappear, you can still see clearly where they are. You notice that?
Mm-hmm.
Which is quite interesting.
It is. And when did you say that he took this?
That was, let me check.
I was about to say, this was within the last week, wasn't it?
Aye, it wasn't a long, where are you? Right, for them first. I've got that many bloody friends on here. Yeah.
Well, you're more the social butterfly than I am.
Oh man, butterfly. So let's see. Let's have a look. Let's see. But I'm asking about time. Right, it's just vanished. Right, this is what it says. It just vanished, but had watched it travel a good 20 seconds before I got the phone out to catch it on camera, mate. Just happened to look up and see it travelling over. It was around 9 o'clock there. So when was that? He sent me that.
Yeah, he said it was during the week, Monday night.
Yeah, it was Monday.
He's writing in the chat.
Right. So. I mean, I seen one the other night. I seen one, and it would be last Friday night, Friday or Thursday night. And I was out with the dog. It must have been about, I don't know, 10:30 at night. Mm-hmm. 10:30 at night, and it was a beautiful clear sky. You could see the Milky Way and stuff. And I was watching it, and I actually thought it was an International Space Station, but it was too bright and it was too low down. But it was in space. It was in space the way it was moving, and it just stopped, and it just sat there, and it sat there, and it sat there, and then it just went the opposite way and disappeared.
Mm. Yeah, you were telling me about that one.
Yeah, but I didn't have my phone on me. Sometimes I like to go just for relaxing walk. Yeah. One ship coming in and out of 3D or 4D or 5.
Possibly. Honestly, you want to know what I kind of think of with this kind of explanation, and maybe it'll help, some of the quote unquote normies understand who don't really get this type of thing. If these beings are coming from higher densities, higher dimensions, whatever label you want to use, what if it, like I said, what if those other 2 were some sort of weird reflection from a multi-dimensional level, just kind of peeking in, Kind of like the mirror dimension out of Doctor Strange, like kind of.
Mm-hmm.
That's the closest thing I can think of pop culture wise.
That's not the first time that's happened. Though. Where he stays in a little village called Lismahego, which is about 3 or 4 miles down the road from me, round about that. But that's where Drew is. I don't know if she's in the chat or not. For some reason, I can't see her anywhere.
I was about to say someone was looking like they were talking to her, but
aye, if you're there, Drew, I can't see you. It's the usual. It keeps happening. She remember her telling us last year, the year before, about how her man had seen a weird looking craft behind the house. Yeah,
that was roughly
I've seen quite.
after we started this.
So there's no that many things near me that would be interesting for extraterrestrials. I've got a distillery where all the whiskey's kept. I don't know if there's whiskey connoisseurs, I don't know. I've got wind farms, right, big turbines. But I do have behind me, about maybe 7 miles from me, I have the early warning radar station. Mm-hmm. A big military, it's up in the hill, and it's a big military, and it's to do with radar. Mm-hmm. So that's quite interesting because I know that radar does play a part in the UFO community and stuff like that because it can cause things to go wrong for them. Mm-hmm. You know? See, remember I showed you that video. Remember that Lewis analysed for me, and there was the craft that I could see over the windmills. Yeah. Right. Yeah. See that craft? You see where that craft was? That's where Scottish Outlooker stays. It's the exact same spot, and if you notice, it was kind of triangular. So it was where he stays at Lismahego. I could watch it. I could actually see it, the ship floating over it, which is interesting. And that's where Gina's husband seen UFOs too. So it makes you wonder: is there something there that they're interested in?
Maybe, I don't know.
Right, they're coming for you, Scottish Outlooker. They're going to take you away tonight. Lock those doors.
Maybe
won't help you anyway.
I don't know. Maybe that's going to be the one thing that keeps you from getting flooded when the Russians launch their missiles.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did I say that? Oh, I wasn't supposed to reveal that plan. Sorry, Vladimir.
No! Boom. It'll be all over. It's like gravitational. I've been away for 10 years. What's armed?
And we didn't miss you one bit.
I know. Terrible. I don't know. Honestly, my village in Scottish Outlooker's village, I don't know why the aliens would have our fascination with that. Good God, Scottish Outlooker, can you imagine if they landed? The locals would probably just walk past them and say nothing.
Who says they would notice in the first place?
That's very true. There he's in the chat. What's that? Ho, I could be doing with a little trip. There you go, man.
There you go.
You can get up to you better watch what you're asking for. You'll get up there and you'll be lying on the table and a guy come out with a big probe in his on.
Yeah. And just to make you feel more comfortable, he'll make himself look like Chris.
Yes. We'll say, don't worry, it won't hurt. There'll be a big pulse and spark coming at the end of it.
It's okay. You know, that you do realize there is actually, scientific backing for probing, right?
See, right. I meant to ask Elena this the last time she was. Come on, tell us what is with that?
Why would you do that to Elena? Come on.
Because if I just wanted to ask her that, I kind of don't want to embarrass her in any way. She's probably watching this back and that. You know, Elena, why do they probe you? What is that all about? Is it like a fetish they've got? So why do they do that? Come on, Dakota. Does your wife do probing? Does your wife probe?
Dude, first off, she don't need to. One.
Mm-hmm.
You do realize it's almost an infertility treatment. They can actually stick things up the rear end in order to stimulate things in order to help breeding of animals.
It
can be done on humans too, but
Aye, but you hear like forestry workers that are in their cabin at night, and it's like 10 o'clock at night and there's a bright light, and then they wake up the next day and they've got a terrible sore bum.
Yeah.
Oh, it was terrible.
And their
big hairy
constipation
man
went away.
Aye, and the big hairy man had a bald head and it had a company logo. It was weird. He was with his wife and his kids and all that. They were all stood him with the probes in their hands. It was bloody terrifying. I'm not going back to that cabin again.
That brings a whole new meaning to Brokeback Mountain. God.
Oh my god. Oh my god. So there you go, Scottish Outlooker, when you're out walking the hills, because he goes out walking in the hills, just prepare yourself. You might get took. And they'll be waiting.
Out of curiosity, Chris.
What?
Have you ever tried looking into ley lines in your region?
There's one runs right past my house.
How many of them line up at Las Maego?
That's actually a good point. About 2, 3, or maybe 4. Run about that.
I was just trying to look up a map of ley lines I've used for some of our international incidents.
I've got one of the, National Geographic, what do you call it? It's a terrain thing. Tells you the mountains, the height of the mountains and stuff.
Hey.
But it's actually quite interesting how you're more likely to see a UFO if you live out in the sticks. Whereas you think they'd be more interested with city life. I mean, maybe they can't go into certain cities because of the low emission zones now, because it's getting ridiculous now. You can't drive your motor anywhere. But it's
like,
I just don't know.
There's supposed to be zero emissions, but what if it's a situation where the way their craft moves, from the gravitational lensing and how the propulsions work, what if they were to try to manifest in a bigger city, but they carry the pollution with them? They take that back to wherever they're from. They end up releasing this deadly toxin and kill off a bunch of their guys.
It makes you wonder how many UFOs, I mean alien UFOs, are above us, just floating about.
I know.
Watching us.
Listening to this transmission,
thinking to themselves, there's a guy in the chat called Scottish Outlooker. He's seen us the other night. We'll have to go back and see him. Let's go back on Sunday night and get him. You'll be looking up all the doors and stuff like that, shutting the curtains. And we're running out the house.
That's all like that's doing ain't good. I need to start figuring out how to get my security cameras up and running so I can try to catch when they go to visit me.
Is there any way you can stop them from coming into your house? There must be a way to stop them.
There are ways you can use warning and shit like that, yes.
Aye, but...
or at least filter who comes through.
Aye. So instead of a beautiful woman holding a probe, it'll be a big hairy guy.
Scottish Outlooker, I kind of wish they would fly over Russia and China and disable all the nukes.
How'd you
there's been plenty of flyovers. So there's already been flyovers. What are you talking about?
See, that's the thing, Scottish Outlooker. How do you know that they're not already did that? Because there's a lot of UFO sightings in Ukraine now. How do you not know that the weapons of mass destructions have maybe been fired, but maybe they've not went off? You don't know these things. So what other evidence do we have? What about other strange events around the world, Dakota?
Oh, I don't know, man. There's too much going on, man. It's hard to keep up.
I will say this, TikTok is full of utter shit. There is some of it that's interesting, but it really is quite intense, the amount of utter rubbish that's on there. I mean...
yeah. The number of people who try to capitalize whenever there's a major disaster.
Yep. It's... What was that there? I seen a weird line going across my screen there. That was weird. But, look, I do think something's about to happen. I think it's got to be worse than 9/11. I'm going to say that now. What is with the 23rd of this month?
I keep hearing that, but nobody is actually fucking saying what it's supposed to be. So if anybody in the chat knows, please share. Enlighten us.
We've got all the kind of Bible bashers going, it's the rapture! We're doomed! They're coming to take us all. Repent, repent. There was one guy on TikTok the other night, and he was like, "It's the rapture. It's the rapture. Buy my book now. It's the rapture." Why are you not giving away your book if the rapture's coming?
I was about to say, at this point, with delivery, you're not going to be able to see your book until it's too late.
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's what all these kind of prepping channels are. They're all like, buy my book now. How's that book going to save your life? I mean, the autobiography of somebody that's built a nuclear bunker, how's that going to save you?
Exactly. I mean, maybe you can. I mean, it's Saturday. Yeah. That's right.
Dots, have you been drinking something in your tea? Have you lost time?
Well, no. It's a Saturday. The 23rd. It's a Saturday. So we could air something live.
They're coming to get you.
And that's when Dots finds out that he is actually a lost Bruce Springsteen clone.
Yep. That's you, Dots. What you got to do, Dots, if you get taken back to your home world and they don't have tea? That's got to be disastrous.
How to make it.
But what happens if they don't have it?
Well, tea is just simply made from plants, and I'm sure their worlds have different
plants. No, it's leaves for the tea bush that's dried in the sun.
It's like, we're getting panic attacks. Poor Dots.
Don't you worry, Dots. Don't you worry, Dots. You'll be in a distant galaxy far, far away with no tea bags.
You're just really obsessed with teabagging, aren't you?
Well, you just think of it in this sense. Your Scottish Outlooker will fly past you in another ship, and you'll see an alien holding a big shiny thing.
Oh, God.
This Scottish Outlooker here, but buy my book. It's called How to Avoid Being Anal Probed When Walking in the Mountains. I'll tell you something new, by the way. We've got a company. Dakota's got a company where he does books. If you want to write a book, you could actually do something with that.
It's like, we can release it through Bald and Bonkers.
How not to be probed.
We have a book out dedicated to Chris called Macro Energy, Micro Penis. I'm dead serious. Yeah. It's out on Amazon right now.
Sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt. He's just trying to get me.
I think Jenny actually ordered you a copy.
You're kidding me. Did she?
It's too bad she's not
Jenny, Jenny, you're going to get Dakota. That's it. She's going to get you. You know that.
You're a little drag queen.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with dressing as a woman once in a while. You used to do it all the time. Mind the times you went on the lives dressed as a woman.
Oh God, you're talking about the drag show bet.
He did, ladies and gentlemen. He went on a show.
We never actually went through with that. Remember?
No, there was one show you went on and you were dressed as a woman.
Okay, yeah, I had.
You had a scarf in your head and you were like, ooh.
Yeah, I had a towel on my head. Made it look like I just got out of the shower because I said I would do it. I had to go. I actually had to go to work right after that.
What's that? Scottish Outlooker? Ha ha ha! Take my money. Don't see that name once in different court.
What, the micro penis? I'm lost.
Honestly, I don't know where the show's just gone. We're meant to be talking about bloody UFO stuff.
Where's the evidence you're supposed to be bringing?
I don't have any evidence because I thought you were uploading all the videos and stuff like that. But there's loads of locations. We could talk about. Right, let's talk about Rendlesham Forest. What do you think happened there? Do you think that did they touch a UFO? Did the UFO turn off all the devices, or was it just all made up?
I think the Rendlesham was a legitimate incident.
But I always wondered when the men touched it, they get a 101010 downloaded in their head. Why would they do that? Because it would take forever to figure out.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, a couple of guys.
There's different forms of binary too.
Oh. There's the man himself. You'll need to buy
Not a
I'm going to
dot.
send you a copy, Pete. I think you'll be into that kind of stuff.
What, Pete's in here?
Aye, Son of the Naked. Did I just hear a micro penis? It'll pop up in
Yes,
a minute.
yes, Pete. We actually have a book out for the release through Bald and Bonkers called Macro Energy, Micro Penis. It's a men's self-help book to help you
Yes.
live your best life in spite of shortcomings.
Yes.
And
So,
no, I'm not joking. This is an actual book that we
Pete.
have released.
So, Pete, I know you're watching this, Pete. So, if you need help in this room, in this situation, Dakota, how much is the book? Is it free?
No,
He
it's
needs
not
help.
free.
You better watch. You'll be doing like a weird voodoo dance and all that. You'll wake up with a shrunken head tomorrow.
I could use it. My t-shirts would feel better.
Why is it not popping up in the chat, but I can see it on YouTube?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. I don't know. Here.
You know? So, Pete, are you buying the book? Micro Penis?
Hold on. I'm getting the link off of Amazon, so you can all go check it out.
Scottish Outlook.
It's supposed to be a paperback.
Dots
There's
MC.
supposed
I
to
know
be
you're
a
into that kind of
paperback.
thing. Dots MC. I know that you're into that kind of thing. I'm going to click on that.
Something's wrong with the paperback, so it's taking a little. See, now I'm starting to see him. Oh God, South Park, really?
What's that? In the immortal worlds of butterscotch.
Wait, here's out.
That's a book for you. Need that book, Pete. You need to get that book. I think you'd be awesome. I think that'd be awesome. Get the book.
And yes, Pete. It is dedicated to Chris.
Pete, I know that Pete practices voodoo, but could you do like a weird spell and turn them into one of the Beetlejuice? That's the thing I was wanting to ask your dad if that was true or no. Kind of like shrinking heads you get in the jungles. The people who get their heads shrunk.
Legit. That was legit practice.
You're ground dead, Butters. The wonders of butter. Honestly, sometimes I really do wonder. This is the videos. We should have come on here to talk about weird things that's happened. I mean, you think the other weird things that's happened on here, especially with Mike. I mean, the amount of things we're getting near to Halloween, which was Mike's kind of favorite time. Halloween. You imagine the problems we had when Mike would come on the show.
I don't know who was worse, Mike or Elena.
Mike was strange. As Mike would go and he would sound like a Cylon. Even he literally sounded like a Cylon. You know? And
ladies and gentlemen, here's the link to the Patreon where you can subscribe to the Bald and Bonkers library and get yourself a free copy of the Micro Penis. For $10.
There's Pete saying there, actually, Dad had a shrunken head. It's in a jar locked up right now. Oh, that'd be good to see that. Pete, can we get some pictures on the
Are we sure we should be showing those pictures online?
Well, it's a head. It's not as if it's a micro penis.
Hey, whatever you're into, Chris.
Well, look, Mike could really make me laugh. Honestly, I mentioned Mike a lot. I actually watched one of Mike's videos last night, and what was it called? It was something falls where people have felt their deaths and died, and it was an awfully good show that he did. But I mean, the knowledge that he had, the shrunken heads in a jar. Pete, there you go. One day if you keep this up, Dakota, maybe your head will be in a jar one day. It need to be a big one, but it'll be in a jar.
I think didn't we already have somebody do that?
Who?
Shoving us in jars?
I know. I'm immune for the jars. They'll not put me in it. I'm like too much.
Sure.
They don't like you, so you'll end up in the jar.
So I don't care if people don't like me.
Try to get you know.
It's like I'm not self-obsessed enough to make people think that I should be liked.
That's very true.
If you like me, do. If you don't, oh well. Suck it up, princess.
Yeah, But there's a thing for you, Pete. Now, you believe in the world of the supernatural and stuff like that. Aliens. What would you do, Pete, if aliens took you away and probed you?
Well, considering as I was trying to look up old clips for this show, there was a clip of his father saying he would want to know more about alien sex practices. I'd be very concerned to ask that question.
I will say this, that will go down in infamy is when Mike the Naked Bigfoot, Pete's dad, for everybody in the podcast, and you have to go and watch the show that he did, and it was called Sex and the Paranormal. I will say that I will take that to my grave. It was that funny. What the hell is that?
Wasn't that his most famous video?
One of my Sex and the Paranormal. I mean, oh my God. Don't believe in extraterrestrials in the practical sense.
All right.
Yeah.
We try not to judge here.
No. But it's look, Mike, what was it Mike says to us one night? He said, what was that? CMC saying mad echoes?
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed.
So is that because we're talking about someone we know, or is that something else?
That makes it well, considering we are streaming through TikTok, and I think that's where part of it is. And someone left us a message saying, "Hello, dear." Hi.
Hello, dear. Is that another one of your wives?
Well, the username is Successful Money Pounds. That doesn't exactly. Yeah, money shot. No.
Oh, that's what you get. That's what annoys me. I put on TikTok the other day there, and it's all these folks that they've all sitting with big piles of money running about them. Well, honestly, I just don't know what's happening to the human race. That's whether.
Yeah, if you look carefully. Yeah, if you look carefully, you can see that the money's fake. It'll say copy or for film use.
Yeah. And just as you said, there was an echo from far in the darkness of the void.
Go. No.
There's an echo for me. I don't hear an echo. Do you hear an echo with me, guys?
No, it's on my end.
That's what I see. They're getting the mothership above your house now. The wife's getting the old probes looked at. You know, she's shining them up as you speak, and the old Mr. Sheen on them.
Yeah. Hey, it should go to show that how much of a handful I can be if it's a woman from outer space that wrangles me in.
I'm going to have a bet, guys. He thinks his wife's beautiful and got lovely hair, and she's one of them.
Hey, I got more witnesses to testify to my stuff than there is to you.
That's very true, but here's the thing, right? But what happens if that's a psychological thing that they've placed in your head? And everybody else that's came into this, it's a psychological thing that's been placed in your head. What the hell's this?
This is the clip I was thinking about. Because I figured since we don't really have anything, let's BS it. And credit to whoever the original owner of this video is.
That's one I've seen.
Whoever you are, please step forward because I would like to ask you some questions. I mean, let's see what I was.
It's fake.
I know. As Dots has said, one of the times he came on the show, the second you hear Hollywood sound effects like that, pretty good odds that it's fake.
Yeah. It's fake. Jesus Christ, you can see the computer animation on it. It's fake.
I mean, it's really well done.
Stupid people in the world that believe this shit. They really do. You get all these stupid people that actually believe this shit. And you get in the same in the paranormal, too.
Oh, I know. And we also got to consider with AI programs being as sophisticated as they are these days, it's going to get worse. you're not going to know what the hell's real.
I seen one the other day there. Mike would have liked this. And it was a guy saying it was Bigfoot, and he was chasing. I don't know if Pete. I don't know if you've seen this. It was BS. It was that stupid. But the guy actually thought it was. He was walking through the woods and he was getting chased, but he went and shot Bigfoot. Mm-hmm. You kind of what I'm talking about. And he's like, "I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to shoot you. I didn't mean to shoot you."
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Ah, holy shit! Look, the more and more things get advanced, there's got to be more and more shit comes out.
Oh yeah,
it's unstoppable, and especially with the younger generation now. Because let's face it, most of the younger generation are complete idiots. I don't care if you don't like that, guys. I'm not caring anymore. Dad didn't judge. He worked with a lot of moonbats.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing, actually, it's quite weird because Pete put a thing up the other day on Twitter talking about how Pete would go with his dad to meet people and things. And Pete, Mike, remember that story he told us about when he met Ed, Ed, Lane Warren?
Oh, yeah.
You ken that one, Pete? Your dad was telling me.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes one night, he says he went to go and meet Lane Warren, and she was doing like a book signing or something. And he put his horn out to shake her horn, and she looked at him. And he turned her horn back, and she refused to shake your dad's hand, which is actually not very nice, actually. Yeah, I mean, I think that's actually not very nice. But it just shows you. Did she sense what his abilities were? Because obviously Mike had amazing abilities, especially the little girl that followed him about.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
You know, it makes you wonder where that little girl is now. She must have crossed over, or she's went somewhere, because she wasn't a human spirit, wasn't she? She was something else.
Pete, got some input on this? It's better to come from you, brother.
Yeah. Pete, would you like to say anything?
I was like, this is one of those things. This is one of those things where I think it would be more appropriate if Pete gave his input on this.
There it's there. I'll bring it up. Oh man, Dad seriously disliked the one from
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, you go to remember it. A lot of this stuff's all faked, especially Zach Bagans. I've mentioned the word. Your dad's probably pointing him as we speak. I mean, Zach Bagans is one of the biggest frauds and fakers out there in the paranormal world. And this is today with faking stuff. And the show tonight, Zach Bagans has made a lot of places. What was that? People were going in after the Ghost Adventures, and there'd been weird things painted in the walls that wasn't there. After
there's
been
a
in.
number of locations that have done that.
Yeah, to make the place look scary.
It's like, I know there's one here in Idaho. It's it's up in a town called Albion. They do haunted houses every year. The places are legitimately haunted. A lot of the groups locally use it for kind of like training grounds.
Yeah.
But there was this one episode where they came by. They were showing all these pentagrams painted, and they're trying to say, "Oh, that's been there for years." The paint's still fucking dripping.
Yeah. There is a lot of fakers out there. There's a lot of people. I know Scottish Hunt goes. No Scottish Hunt teams. I mean paranormal teams that I've met on here, and some of them cheat. Some of them do it deliberately, just because they want famous. They want to be the next Zach Bagans. I don't care if I've got 5 bloody subscribers. I'm just happy that the fact is that I've managed to wake somebody up to the realness in life. Get what I mean? And it's sad, really, that these folk they say that what they are, but in actual fact is they get people to do stuff for them. You know?
Very, very true.
Yeah.
Dots, I know, I heard it.
Yeah. And then they get people, then they go around about telling the story about how they outed them and stuff like that. But in actual fact, it was all planned. And that is the thing. That Zach Bagans is one of the biggest dicks in the paranormal.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that show that Mike the Naked Bigfoot did? And he was going on about the paranormal girls.
Oh yeah, the paranormal titties episode. It's gonna be God. If I were to sell
What show was that?
We're coming up on 200 episodes, man.
Oh, honestly, Pete, you need to watch the paranormal titties. I mean, come on.
Mike alone, he was on at least 13 episodes with us.
Yeah.
I find it kind of funny that it landed on that number, but hey.
Mm-hmm. But as but you must admit that was an epic show. You must admit that was epic, that show. I mean, it's just the way he was kidding when he was one of the ladies. He was like, something's touched one of my nipples.
That's
honestly, your dad was awesome.
That's someone we should honestly try to get on the show. It's some of these women who said that they got married to a ghost.
Oh my God.
I would love to have us sit down and chat with these ladies. Just to ask, what made them believe. Like that one who said that they had to cancel the wedding because the ghost husband kept disappearing.
How hard would it be to run Mike the Naked Bigfoot's videos with us over the Halloween week?
Well, I don't think my computer, my setup as we have it now, would be able to do it, but I guess technically we could link it up on the Bonkers TV, so that way it's always streaming.
We could keep Mike stuff constantly streaming, because that would be quite good. Yeah, I mean, because it was an awesome show. That it was just pissing them off. It was just pissing them off. It was so good to watch because he knew what he was talking about.
Oh yeah. Between that and the episode we introduced him to Dave Schrader.
Oh my God! I'll do that to my grave. So, Mike, here is Dave Schrader.
I know.
Are you okay, Mike? Are you okay, Mike?
No, he was good. I'd say he was good that day.
What's this here? Son of the Naked Bigfoot. There, Son of the Naked Bigfoot. There's this month, man.
Oh, Mothman chick. Why do I think I know who he's talking about?
I know who she's talking about too.
I'm about to say we tried to get her on the show, but she stood us up.
Mm-hmm.
3 times, if I recall.
Yeah.
You kept trying to go. It's like, get the hit. She's not interested.
Are we talking about the same person we know, or are we talking about somebody else?
Okay. Are we talking about the guy we used to actually work with at one point?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking. Is that who we're talking about?
That's what I was talking about. I was just checking and see if that's who you were talking about.
She's
though she did, but speaking of her, talking about fakes and UFOs, she did actually ended up pointing something out. She's not shy to hide herself, as we all know. And, that's her choice. I'm just going to leave it at that. But why is it that on Twitter, she could post sexy images of herself, but when she actually goes to show something of a UFO, that's the one that gets taken down?
No. Yes, but I keep calling you Son of the Naked Bigfoot, but your name's Pete. She ran so many scams for money under so many names.
Yeah, we were technically also involved in introducing Mike to her as well. Because there was that brief period he was under the same banner.
Remember the first show? Remember one of the shows where I met Mike, and I was actually watching it. And remember that day that somebody says to him, "Why did they call you Mike the Naked Bigfoot?" And he stood up for a split second.
Yeah,
remember that? Remember, and they're like, they're covering the camera, And I was buckled. I just couldn't stop laughing. I actually messaged that back to Pete when he put it out. But that was just, honestly, that was just epic show ever. I think we need to do something. We need to do something for Mike the Naked Bigfoot. We need to put like a replay the episodes for him our Halloween, because it was as he told me he loved Halloween, and it was one of his most favourite time. I wonder what it was like, Pete. What was it like when you were growing up as a wee boy with your dad at Halloween? I bet you it was awesome. Honestly, I bet you it was.
Unfortunately, I'm working that night, so there's not much I can do from where I'm sitting.
Yeah.
See if I can dress up when I go to work.
You could go as Uncle Fester.
I went as Fat Thor the first year I was working that job. Seriously. I had the wig, the beard, sunglasses. Everyone started wanting to take pictures with me.
You know. But I think tomorrow what we need to talk about more is let's talk about some interesting locations tomorrow. Some interesting locations like the pyramids and stuff like that. Let's talk about these subjects. Because there's people out there that think that they're only like 500 year old and all that, and they were built, and they're a lot older than what they say they are.
There's also younger people that are trying to say the USA is 2023 years old.
I've seen that. But you've got to remember these people are idiots.
And unfortunately, the education system continues to fail them.
Honestly, do you think that if something's not done very soon, in about 50 years' time, everybody's going to be an idiot? I mean, I'm probably an idiot too, but at least I've no like the younger generation that's running about there because they're idiots. Did you see that video that's come out of America? The two teenagers that stole the car, and they ran over the police. And they ran over the police guy, the retired police officer, and killed him. He was on his bike. Yeah, I mean that's just. I
mean, how about the latest little social media trend? I noticed it on both Instagram and TikTok, where people are just firing off weapons. They're driving along and just firing off their weapons. What the hell?
That's dangerous. A lot of folk don't realise, but that what goes up will come down. And there's actually been people killed with falling bullets.
Because of that shit.
Yeah.
At least 10 confirmed dead so far last time I looked because of that stupid shit.
But there's people out there you've got to understand too. There's people out there that don't know what they're doing with guns. I mean, I don't think guns are a bad thing, but it's the people that own them that are the bad ones. A gun, if you take a gun and set a gun on a table, that could sit there for the rest of the time and it's not going to kill anybody. It's the person that's holding it that's going to kill you.
Exactly.
Right? If you know what you're doing with a gun, I can like Pete in the chat in there, I can that he's got a couple of firearms, but he's probably got a few because I remember your dad telling me that you had the firearms in the the mountains. You probably need it for Bigfoot and stuff like that.
I was about to say he would never leave the house at night without something on him.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. It's I mean it's a good thing, but then there's people out there that are just idiots and they shouldn't be allowed them.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, you've probably got one.
I sold it.
He sold it, so there you go. What's that for Son of the Naked Bigfoot? Dad exposed a lot of fake faith healers here in the South and Midwest back when he travelled. I always had a thing about that. See these fake folk, I can heal you with the power of the Lord. And they slap them in the face and the floor. You ever watched that? Have you ever watched the mad Christian faith healers? I mean, there's times I've just sat there and just burst out laughing because it's that stupid.
Granted, I will say that it is possible. It can be done for faith healing to actually work.
Mm-hmm.
But a good 99.9% of the ones who claim they can do it don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Look, I was watching a guy And he did what Mike was doing, but he filmed it, and where they would actually put plants, and they would watch them, and they were picking up radio transmissions.
Mm-hmm.
And they could, and the guy came out in the Zimmer, and then he's dancing on the stage and all that. That was him. It was fake. It was all rigged up.
Yeah.
Rigged.
Yeah, there was this one experiment I saw where this couple, they bought tickets to see a psychic, and what they did beforehand is they thought it was kind of funny that the psychic had, an option to sign up using Facebook. So what they did is they created fake Facebook profiles. They got a bunch of their friends together. They swapped around them all these fake stories.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't actually look at the Facebook profiles before they went to the show. They just said they were just going to agree with whatever the guy said.
Mm-hmm.
Word for word, this guy was ripping off of what he could find on Facebook.
Yeah. And it's true what Dot says, a hammer can build a house or break a bone. It's the intent behind it. Look, a gun, and I'm going to say this is going to piss a few folk off that I know that watched on a show, but I don't care. A gun is a tool. It's a tool. Anything can kill. You could pick up a knife for the next to your plate that you're eating your dinner and kill somebody with that.
Yeah.
Don't do it, because you'll end up in jail and that'll be you. A gun is a tool. You could still kill a gun. You could still kill somebody with a gun without having any ammunition in it.
Yeah.
Because you could beat them to death with it. Get what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a tool. That's what it is. As the old saying goes, what is it? Guns don't kill people. People do. Because it's true. I will say this, there should be a wee bit more restrictions on who's allowed to own them.
Like an IQ test.
Aye. Aye. If you can put the square into the square or the circle into the circle, you can get a gun or whatever. Get what I mean? But there is, what's the age limit in the United States for a gun?
18 for like rifles, 21 for pistols.
So why have I seen like 14-year-olds with like Uzis and that?
Their parents getting affiliation.
No. But I've seen like gun stuff, and it's, remember a kid dropped her gun. It was an Uzi and it sprayed and it killed the instructor. Remember there was a case with that.
No, they can still get access to it. I mean, the training around gun ranges, stuff like that, they can still do it. Usually, if they have a parent consent, they can play with some real exotic stuff.
No. It's like, as I say, and I don't particularly care what folks say anymore because I'm past that. Guns are a handy tool. They're tools, right? It's whoever uses them that are the ones responsible, right? I do think there is people out there that use them wrong, There's people out there that buy them illegally, which you shouldn't do. There's people out there that make their own ammunition. I've got a friend on Facebook and he's in America. He makes his own ammunition. It's actually quite interesting to watch. It's actually really, really, you've got to get it right. You've got to get it right because
you can't even sneeze around that shit.
Aye, you, that's what he says to me about it, because he does wee videos and he sends them to me, and it's actually quite interesting how, because they've got to get it right. Because if they get that off, if they put too much powder in that one round, the gun could explode and kill you. And he lives in the kind of sticks, and he needs it. He owns a farm, and is it Montana somewhere, and he needs it to kill like wildlife and stuff like that. That's like predators and stuff like that.
Yeah, especially where the wolf population is starting to make its way back down to Montana.
But when it comes to like the gang warfare, I don't know how you would be able to stop that. I don't know how you'd be able to stop that.
Yeah, putting more legal restrictions on weapons that are being obtained illegally. But yeah, like that's actually going to work.
Aye, but that's the problem with weapons. You'll always be able to get an illegal firearm.
You can 3D print guns these days, Chris.
I see. I know. I've heard about that. I've seen that. I've seen them getting done.
It's like most And most manufacturers, they have default settings, but you can go onto the internet and find open source software to get rid of those blocks.
Yeah.
And in fact, here's the thing. There may be age restrictions, say like, yeah, I need to be 21 in order to get a pistol. But those age restrictions don't exactly exist for getting the gun parts.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say this about guns. I know someone that lives in the United States, and he was telling me he went to a farmer's meat thing, and this is like in the hills of, like, I'm not telling you where it is, but he told us where it was, and it was like a bring and buy thing where all the hillbilly kind of folk like sell their stuff. And he was walking along, and he came across a stall, and all they were selling was guns.
Yeah.
Guns. And they were going ridiculously cheap.
Yeah.
And they didn't even ask him any identification or nothing. He bought a couple. And he didn't ask him any identification or nothing.
Yeah.
And that just shows you how many is available out there. How many of them are available. And you'll never get rid of them because you can make them. Because there's so many of them.
Oh, yeah. There's another thing people hadn't really need to consider when it comes to guns. A lot of the ones that are being accessed are ones simply left behind by militaries. Because it's cheaper to just make new guns than to clean up their mess and bring all the guns back home that they already have.
Yeah. And it's madness, you know. But anyway, we'll continue this talk tomorrow. We'll talk about we should actually do a talk one night about gun control and stuff like that, because it's actually quite an interesting. It's a subject that we've not really went into. It's something that a lot more people should look into. But I will say this: be very careful out there, guys, in America and stuff like that, where there is guns. Don't buy an illegal. Be careful
over in the UK, where you're still more likely to get stabbed.
You're more likely to be stabbed, but over here you're not allowed a knife. It's under 2 inches or 3 inches. You're allowed a knife. But do you know there was somebody near me one day? This is actually happening. For you Americans in the chat, you'll be like, "Oh my God, how did that happen?" There was a guy near me. He was a painter and decorator, right? And he was sitting in his van, and he had a Stanley knife blade. And you know how the bristles go hard.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just taking the paint off the end, and a police car pulled up behind him, and they done him for having a dangerous weapon in his hand. That's how mad my country's went.
And here's the thing, people are probably asking, well, what the heck does this have to do with faking and stuff like that? The main message behind all of this is, if you're going to do something, know what the hell you're doing. Whether it's dealing with the paranormal, weapons, anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
The greatest threat out there is ignorance.
Yeah. There's Pete there saying that his dad carried a gun and a knife everywhere he went. Well, let's look at Mike the Naked Bigfoot. He was going out looking for strange creatures in the middle of nowhere and doing like wee mad crazy roads to talk to folk like the Skinner Man and all that kind of stuff. He needed that kind of stuff for protection. Mm-hmm. He didn't know he was going to run into. You know what I mean? But honestly, well, hopefully we can put out like some Mike the Naked Bigfoot videos soon, guys, because it is coming up to Halloween, and that was his kind of Pete that was his favourite time of the year, wasn't it? Halloween. I'm sure he said that a few times.
He did.
Aye, and we should really do something for Halloween for him, because that'll be 1 year since his passing. Can't believe he's been going for a year. I honestly can't, and I am still shocked. It's took me a few months to start watching his videos again.
Yeah,
but everybody for coming. Thank you very much for coming. Pete, thank you for coming, bud. And what are you saying before we go?
Oh, I'll just say, be sure to check out those links in the description to check out all the stuff. Subscribe to the Patreon page so you can get backstage access to all of our stuff. And if you think you got a story to tell that you want to come on the Bald and Bonkers Show, come on up, because Chris and I can only BS so much.
Yep. We're bald and we're bonkers. Yeah.
So
You're the bonkers one, and I'm just the bald one.
hey, at least with bonkers, it insinuates intelligence.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of folk out there that have got no intelligence at all, So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you tomorrow night. Have a fantastic night, and may you be visited in the night by aliens with big, shiny probes.
Of course, you would enjoy that.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe anywhere you see Bald and Bonkers for even more insanity. Be sure to spread the love to the Bald and Bonkers Boys' other endeavors. And a special thank you to our audience, guests, and everyone else who helps make this crazy ride happen. Amazing things are ahead. Learn more by visiting www.baldandbonkers.net. See you next time. Much love, and take care. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. From the deepest jungles to the outmost reaches of space and beyond the veils of death itself, the Bald and Bonkers Boys are back for another episode. It's no secret that you won't know what will happen next, but Dakota Franson and Chris Moore promise that all bets are off. Viewer discretion and straitjackets advised. These two idiots live up to the name.
Yes! Cocksucker motherfucker!
Yes, ladies and
You
gentlemen.
lazy goddamn son of a bitch!
He's got technical problems, ladies and gentlemen, with his microphone. I think he's been going to sites that he shouldn't have been. I personally think this is his problem.
Twitter.
Oh shit! You noticed that? You went and changed your name there, yeah.
I fucking noticed that. You cocksucker!
It's revenge. It's sweet and it's swift.
Revenge for what?
You changed mine. You change my name all the time, and you don't like it.
I haven't done that in a long time. What are you talking about?
You don't like it. You don't like it.
Oh, what? I don't know what you are talking about. I have never done so.
Dots, before we start the show tonight.
Can anybody actually hear Chris? No, seriously, I can't hear you now. Am I the only one that... Can anybody else in the chat hear Chris? No, I'm serious. Yeah. See? You're muted. You're muted. See, this is what happens when you leave old people to technology. I should not be letting him touch anything around here. He keeps fucking things up.
Am I here now?
Now you are.
I'm back again.
No, I think you are. Yeah. I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Can you hear me? Pete! Can you hear me, Pete?
Well, what was weird is the yellow was still popping up around your backs.
Talking about something, this is interesting, and I want to bring this up. Pete put a picture of waffles on the X place now, because I was...
Can't hear you. And what's weird is that it's showing the yellow box around your end. It's showing that you...
I'll back out and then I'll come back in again. Fuck's sake. It's not letting me out. My screen's just went all totally blank.
Oh, you little furry bastard! God damn. I sprayed this cat with water, but unfortunately, he fucking likes it.
Can you not hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
I don't know what's going on with your mic.
What do you mean it's going with my mic?
And he's gone. See? Once again, the yellow box is popping up like you're saying something. But I can't believe that actually worked. So, how the hell are you, ladies and gentlemen? We're not even 5 minutes in, and Chris has already been tricked out of kicking himself out of the show because I turned down his mic.
Jesus, no, the fucking holy. There's two Dakota fans.
Did you get that fixed? Did you get that fixed?
Bobby
I can hear you now.
But look, it's called me you. For fuck's sake.
I know, I'm switching it. Yeah, because it calls you me because
Christy
I'm the one that pays for the fucking account.
What the hell's Christy? For fuck's sake.
I wasn't paying attention. Okay, that was me fat fingering. That one was on me.
Honestly. Ladies and gentlemen. Aye, so son of the naked Bigfoot, Pete, the man himself, you were making waffles the other day. What was the maple syrup you were using? It was like a big line in the front, and it was King syrup or something. Looks really good. You know? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the strange and unknown zone. Do not adjust your laptops or smartphones. It's just us idiocies. Dakota's madness. This is the Twilight Zone. You're not.
If only we could have like a Bald and Bonkers Twilight Zone crossover. Wouldn't that be nice? I see his lips moving, but no sound coming out yet again.
Okay, I'll just turn my phone up. Fuck it. No. Testing.
Now I can
hear. Well, I can hear it on my phone. I can hear myself on the phone. Dag. He's a dick, isn't it? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm looking for a new co-host.
No, I'm the one that runs this company. You're out.
Nope. We're going to have a vote. All the subscribers. Let's vote on a new co-host. Right, Pete. Do you want to be my new co-host in Bald and Bonkers? I think Pete would make a great co-host.
No, I think you could find yourself your own damn account if you go off on your own.
It's a joke.
That's all. I'm fucking saying.
He's so titsy, isn't he? Titsy. There's a new word.
Titsy.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Right.
Yours looks bigger than mine, motherfucker.
Yes, but I like to fondle. You know.
The
purple one's out of space. The purple one's. Kenny was going on about that. I don't know what's going on. Emerald Paranormal jumping in to say, hey, cracking on to the video. She was awaiting investigations yesterday, and she's got some amazing evidence. She's doing all her, her ghostly things. Thank you for coming, Jenny. Dakota keeps breaking everything, you know. You wacky boy, Dakota is. Dakota is wacky, you know. So, question. What's any world news and any world events that's happening? Have you seen, before we go into the subject for the night, have you seen the crazy weather in Greece?
Mm-hmm.
Seriously? Have you seen how much rain? There's actually parts of Greece that they say will turn into lakes and never dry up.
Yeah. It's getting that bad over there.
Mm-hmm. My niece Rebecca, she's away to Greece, but I think she's in a different part, and it's absolutely roasting. It's nearly like 40 Celsius.
Ugh.
Ooh, I know.
I mean, yeah, I've heard it's an absolutely beautiful area. I've always wanted to visit Greece myself, but nevertheless, it doesn't sound like much of Greece is going to be left over.
Jenny is tired and grumpy.
Well, that's what happens with old age.
Oh, right, Jenny. Feel free to execute him at dawn. I don't think she's even going to wait to dawn. I think she's just going. I'll tell you something. You better watch yourself. By the way, that's terrible. By the way, that's honestly.
Did you know if
Jenny,
you actually run Jenny's face through a female to male filter, it brings out you?
that's because I'm handsome, and I look like handsome people all around the world. You know. But anyway, you're going off the subject.
Whatever you say, Grimace. Well, yeah, you do it all the fucking time. I'm the one that has the fucking issue when you do it all the fucking time.
Relax. I think Dakota needs to relax, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about Greece, right? And I know you want to go there because of all the big handsome men covered in little lard and all that kind of stuff, and you're into that kind of thing. But don't worry. You'll get there one day. Now, Greece is where they.
That's your fucking fantasy.
Greece no? What was Greece famous for? What was Greece famous for again? And I'm not talking about them. No, it wasn't the Romans. What was that? It was what was that? It was the Romans were there. No, but it was famous for something else. It was famous for something else. Was that where Spartans were meant to come from?
No.
No, it's like that film. What is it called? 300.
300.
Aye, that's a great film. That, and then the one after that.
But Greece, trust me, Greek chicks.
It's all coming out now, ladies and gentlemen. So, any Greece chicks in the chat tonight? Dakota is free. He's single. Please contact.
I dated a chick that was half Greek and half Italian. She slept around.
But anyway. What do you think is causing all this weird weather?
Oh, man.
Do you think it's manipulation?
Well, it could be a side effect of manipulation when you really think about it. I mean, fuck up the weather in one area, the balance has to equalize all throughout the rest of the planet. So if you were to say, focus a bunch of energy in like Hawaii, you could get some side effects in Greece you don't intend. It's all about balance, and that's the problem with this weather manipulation technology. That balance is getting disrupted on the regular, so we don't know what's going to come out. Wasn't it in Greece that I think a winery got busted open from all the flooding, and it's literally a flooding wine down the streets?
I seen that. I'm going to say, Jenny, if you're still there was this. Jenny likes wine, and she really likes her wine. And there was this big vats. I mean, ginormous vats, right? Of wine, Jenny, right? And there must have been like 500 gallons in each vat, right? And one of them get punctured, right? And it was actually a tidal wave going down the road of wine.
I imagine
there was folk in it. There was folk lying in it. Their mouths open.
Yeah.
There was actually folk in it. There was folk putting up buckets and stuff and drinking it.
Might as well.
Might as well. But here's the thing.
They're just helping disaster relief efforts.
Last week, not the week before, all the cars were covered in this weird grime, right?
They were covered in this weird sand from the Sahara.
Like, they were saying it was sand from the Sahara, but I went and did the thing. It was on TikTok, and I didn't believe it until I went and did it. I've got a wee magnet on my car keychain with my torch, and I get my card, my AA card, my breakdown card out, and I scraped it into a wee pile off the window, and I put the magnet on, and it all stuck to the magnet. Now, some people will say, aye, that's, what you call it, there's iron in the Sahara Desert, but there was actually a guy that put it through this computer device. Do you know what else was in it? High levels of uranium.
Mm-hmm.
There's
natural uranium deposits throughout that area.
Aye, but there was more uranium. It's this guy that did a test. If you to take a mug of sand, right, for the Sahara and test it, there would be something like 5 million particulates of uranium, right?
Mhm.
But you take even a gram of the stuff that was on top of the cars, right? And there was something like 25 million particulates of uranium in it. That's no right. There's something going on there. What's that? What's that there? I'm here, yes, Lo. Where's my snorkel? Jenny.
Careful. A friend of my mother's just died snorkeling.
Really?
Literally.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
Apparently, all we know, she was in Hawaii before Lahaina happened. She was snorkeling and just underwater.
It must have. What's the word? It must have been the air must have just stopped getting down or something.
She just stopped. They're not exactly sure how she died.
Oh, I've got scenarios there in my mind probably, because I've noticed a lot of people running about me lately just dropping down dead.
She didn't
have it.
No. That's the first thing I asked too.
I get told an interesting thing the other day, right? And this is really interesting. Somebody told me this. And the coming, I think it's this month or it's next month, McDonald's and all the major food products, people out there getting like Burger King and that, they're going to be doing a special.
And they're selling their burgers for pennies.
For pennies.
For pennies.
Don't eat it.
I know.
Don't eat it. And they're like, are you mad? I could go with $1 and I could get 3 burgers. Don't eat it. Because I bet you there's something in that meat. Or there's something in it.
Or, well, you got to take into consideration, anytime a restaurant usually does those types of specials, it's because whatever's in the special is about to expire. And they need to get rid of it.
Yeah, but it's
I'm just saying that's a more likely scenario.
Here's an interesting fact, and you probably ken this, Dakota, because I ken that you're into this kind of stuff. But I was actually talking to somebody that works for the Food Standards Agency one day, and we were talking about McDonald's French fries, and he was actually telling me the process. She came up the day with it. I bet this is shocking, by the way. You ever noticed with McDonald's French fries, they're perfect. Every one of them.
Yeah, there's also formaldehyde in it.
Yes. When they take the potatoes, they put them in a barn. And it's a special barn with no windows, no doors, no that. And they pump gas, toxic, that's weird chemicals, and they leave it there for like a week. Then they bring them out, and the potato's perfect. And then they rinse it off, and then chop it into chips and serve it to you. And they say it's safe levels when you eat it. So, don't eat it.
Just ask the number of parents who go to clean out their backseat of their vehicle and they have small children. They find all those old McDonald's French fries that been there for months on end, but look like they're freshly out the damn store.
Yep. There's Dobby Socks saying sorry to hear about your relation there. I mean, look, honestly, see when they're doing like deals like that, 3 burgers for like $1, please, for the love of God, don't eat them.
Shouldn't be eating it in the first place.
All the homeless will be lining up stuffing burgers into their faces. Look,
probably shouldn't be eating it in the first place, but hey.
Well, I'm an advocate for obviously against the you know what in your arm kind of thing that's been going on. So is a few people in the chat there, and they're starting to put it into people's food now. And what's to say that they're not putting it into the burgers before they serve them?
I mean, there's actually a museum exhibit that's literally just a Happy Meal from, I think, like 15 years ago.
And it's still seen it.
The damn thing still looks good.
Yeah. It's fucking joking. It's crazy. It's the chemicals. You think about how high the cancer levels in the world have risen in the last, say, 30 years, 40 years. You think about right, I'm lucky. I'm drinking today. I'm drinking Lucozade Energy, right? There's 0 aspartame in that, right? Since I stopped drinking sugar-free drinks, I've been feeling better. That aspartame, no, that's poisonous. I'm not drinking it again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you think of all the people, and it's Dots MC, the word of coincidence, but you think about all the people that, with cancer that went skyrocketing, right? I think it's to do with these food product companies. I think a lot of what they're ever using in their stuff is giving people cancer.
Let's go to a popular conspiracy.
Yep.
The Simpsons.
Oh Christ! Right. On you go.
No. Look, the gym mats in McDonald's burgers, right? Do you know that's actually true?
What?
Yeah. The gym mats in McDonald's food, in like fast food joints that they showed on The Simpsons, there's truth to it. There's truth to
What's
it.
the truth? Yeah.
All right. Like gym mats. You know, the ones...
Well, made it rubber,
used, no, yeah. The chemicals that are put into them to keep them firm.
Yeah.
No matter how much you slam against them, that same chemical is found in the McRib.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I've heard that. Here's another one for you. Is everybody likes the cereal Lucky Charms?
Aye.
Right. See the wee marshmallow things.
Aye.
See the dye in them is exactly the same as Weed All. Is the same ingredients as Weed All, weed killer.
Mm-hmm. Actually,
It's
you want to
maybe
hear
lower
a little
levels,
interesting trick?
but it's
If you got an ant problem, let out some Lucky Charms.
Yeah.
Because the same chemicals in Lucky Charms are the same chemicals that often get produced by ants when they're close to dying. So when ants smell this, they think that they literally make a graveyard. And sometimes a perfectly healthy ant gets covered in this shit. All the other ants smells it. They don't realize that their friend's still alive. He just got some shit on him. They put him in the graveyard, and eventually even the ant thinks that he's a zombie.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't be so excited. I gave McDee's up. I can't have not had a McDonald's in 9 years.
Most I've gone for McDonald's is a Sprite.
I will say this, I'm a sucker for like Starbucks and stuff like that. I will go in for like coffees and stuff like that, but I don't particularly like. I don't know. There's just something about. I don't know. I do like fish and chips and stuff like that. And you came to Scotland's like for fish and chip bars and stuff like that. And same with Ireland and stuff like that too. And England's the same. Yeah, I mean, but see, honestly, be very careful in what you eat now. Because then they've got all this genetically modified meat where they can grow it in labs. Okay, I mean...
We're going to be seeing a lot more of that.
Yeah. They can actually take cells for a human and grow it.
Oh, yeah, that's been around for at least 10 years now. I remember seeing little startup adverts for a startup company. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but you could eat the meat of a celebrity. Yeah. You can have hamburgers and steak made from the same meat cells as certain celebrities.
Sylvester Stallone steak.
I believe Justin Timberlake was on the list of potential options.
As long as it's what's his name? What's that Canadian singer everybody hates?
Beaver?
What's his name? Beaver. Can you imagine getting a beaver steak? Fucking hell.
Yeah. But unfortunately, some of these fangirls, you'd have to wonder, I want him inside me!
There you go.
He doesn't exactly act like there's much to have inside you, but...
But this is the madness of this world, right? And this episode's turned out to just be a mixture of stuff. And I'm going to say this now. In 5 years' time, I think the world's got to be totally different. It truly is going to be totally different. We've probably got about a lot less people, mind you. There's probably going to be about 500 million, but something's coming. Why is the World Economic Forum go? The population must be round about 500 million by 2000 and what is it?
2025.
25, but how can that be? I mean, that's only like what? This is 23. That's only about a year and a bit.
It was like that's a little over. That's a year and 4 months, and it's like we got to talking about one of the times we had Dots on the show. When it comes to like ET sides things, you can just imagine they have issues with keeping track of time zones like we do around daylight savings, but clearly. Some kind of date has been set for something to happen if they're pushing for that much of a population decline.
I think I know what's going to happen. I think I know with everything that's been going on, and
more
but if you start talking,
no,
it's no natural disasters. But look, even if there's a nuclear war, there'll still be about 3 billion people left on Earth.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really drastic. I mean, super drastic. I mean, ridiculously drastic. But you think about how many people's had the jibby jabby Jew on their arm, right? You think how many people have been vaccinated, right? As long as we've lost our monetization anyway, guys. If you want,
they're fighting us. Yeah, join the Patreon.
Join our Patreon or join our donations are welcome because they're taking our money off us because we talk about this, but it has to be talked about because I'm not going to do in history as one of these folk that only want to be famous. Now, look at the people that have been vaccinated. Now, I'm sorry to say this, some of you shouldn't have been vaccinated. I'm unvaccinated. You're unvaccinated, Dakota, and I know there's a few people in the chat there that's unvaccinated, right? And I'm worried in case something's going to happen. I'm worried in case they're going to do something. Because there's been a lot of undertakers, like morticians, that have come out and said that when they've been, like, Ken, how you get embalming, I don't think they do it in the UK. They do it because I Ken Dobby Ken's about this. In the United States, when they've been doing the embalming, they've pulled out these big, long blood clots.
Yeah. Yep. I've heard about that.
And they found by the tests. It's basically changed your molecular structure. It's some type of like a nanotechnology. That's what it is. But what happens if they're going to flick a switch and put a certain frequency out, and it's going to make everybody really, really real unwell, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they're going to be like, oh, there's the Marburg virus. It's back and it's killing folk. And there's a virus.
Well, they're already starting to push for the viruses again.
See, that's interesting because they'll still be saying that, right?
Again, about the 23rd.
I don't know.
You know, and a lot of the circles say that was actually the plan. To vaccinate as many people, basically make them render them,
and then fuck a switch,
taking time bombs. Zombies go. It kind of converts them to either something that is wanting to come here, kind of like a situation like out of the movie They Live, or a mass extinction.
Well, you think about it. I mean, I've seen the World Economic Forum. Have you seen how many people stay in the United States, Dakota? 180 million?
Something like that.
Well, they're wanting to do like 5 million or something stupid like that.
I know.
And the UK's, I think it's 74 million. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Please say in the chat. But they're wanting to do it like 6 million or something. Yeah. And it's the same. Look, I honestly think something's going to happen. I think they're going to flick a switch one day. They're going to put these pulses out. And it's
allegedly the plan was those plants have been shut down. That's why they use direct energy weapons, and kind of like the ones speculated allegedly just to keep the turf neutral for everybody who likes to get obsessive in our comment section. That's why we're probably going to be also seeing more natural disasters come up.
Yeah. I do think they're trying to start a war with China and Russia and stuff like that, and it's failing because I think China and Russia and that they're sitting back and they're thinking, they know if they start a nuclear war, they're fucked. They're screwed, Tim. They know that.
Here's the thing. Immediately when we think of war, we think Call of Duty, right?
No.
Unfortunately, that's not how the war's being fought. The war's already here, but it's slow and steady. It
started a while ago.
Mostly in secrets. Sleeper cells for Russia, U.S., China have already been activated. And this is actually coming from CIA. That this information is coming out of is coming from the CIA itself. The war has already started, but it's not going to be in the same traditional sense that everybody believes.
I think it's going to be. I'm going to say this now. I don't think it's going to be nuclear weapons are going to be used because I don't think they'll be allowed to be used. To be honest with you, right? I think it will be stopped. Right, that will. But I do think it'll be a conventional war if it goes.
I don't even know where else we're going that far. I mean, look what's happening with MGM right now.
Mm-hmm.
The major casino branch that just had a major hack take place. You want to know what it took? Oh no! You want to know what it took in order to do that?
What?
It is widely believed that all the hackers did. They went on LinkedIn, started looking for someone who works relatively high up in MGM, but not high enough to cause a lot of concern.
Mm-hmm.
Got their information, figured out how they logged into their systems. They called into the internal tech support saying that, hey, I'm having issues with my login. They were able to validate this guy's information enough for the MGM tech guy to say, all right, this is the same dude. Here's your info. Your password's been changed. That's all they did. All it was a single phone call.
Oh, dear. See, that's the problem. And this actually had a conversation with somebody this one day. We're so reliant on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
The internet controls everything. You think about it, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. You think when you go to a shop, you pay with your card, transaction, you talk about your phone, people play with their phone, people play with their smartwatches now. That's all internet controlled. Everything now, in the olden days when you went to like doctor's surgery or the dentist or something like that, they would open a big book and they would put your name in, right?
Mm-hmm.
See now, it's all done by computer. See if the internet goes down, the whole system's fucked. And I'll tell you why it's fucked. The wind turbines are controlled by the internet, right?
Mm-hmm.
The power grid would fail. Everything is controlled by the internet. It means two guys in a wee building about 120 miles away from a power station can control everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? If the internet goes down, everything's just got to go chaotic. The nuclear power stations are designed so as they shut down, right? But everything will just shut down. GPS will fail. The military GPS is hardened, so that'll last a wee bit longer. But everything will just fail. You kind control the satellites. They'll start burning up in the atmosphere. That's how dependent we are on the internet. All they need to do is cut the Atlantic cables. The financial system would be gone within a couple of hours.
Yeah, you kidding me? Sharks are already trying to take those out.
Aye, and Russian submarines at the same time. They're actually protected. There's nuclear submarines protecting the lines right now.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Did you hear that the U.S. tried to get Elon Musk to authorize them to be able to utilize Starlink in order to take out Russian submarines?
Yeah, I heard that. I heard something.
And Elon said no.
Yeah.
They're not going to shut down the internet because they still need it.
Of course, they still need it.
I mean, can you consider all these young-ass soldiers? They're not going to know what the hell to do if they got to shut down the internet in terms of warfare. They're going to render most of their soldiers useless.
Do you know how many soldiers do you think's died in Ukraine since the outbreak? In the Ukraine side, have a guess. And this is coming for good sources. This is coming for the CIA. This is coming for like what do you call it? This is coming for like retired generals and stuff like that. They've always like a connection. How many people do you think died? How many people do you think died?
It should speak volumes. Motherfucker, shut up. It should speak
You're
volumes about how. No, I'm not. You're interrupting me. Fuck off. No, it should speak volumes that the news media is trying to say, oh, Ukraine's winning, yet every major intelligence source is like, the fuck you talking about? They are losing miserably.
Yeah.
Russia's going to win that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it was on the TV here the other day there. And yes, I still watch live TV now and again. Oh, Britain sent an Abrams tank to Ukraine and it was blowing up. Like, we've lost a lot more. We're sending a lot more stuff there than you'd realise what we're sending there. Drew Lee, Nicole, hello. But anyway, do you know it's nearly 500,000? Do you know that? That's how many people they've lost. It's called the meat grinder.
Mm-hmm.
If 20 men go to the front, you'll be lucky if one makes it back.
Mm-hmm.
With his legs or arms. They might be missing a few. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like...
it should also state that Ukraine's getting to the point where it's threatening to reach out and go after everybody who's pretty much bailed on the situation. I was like, how the fuck are you going to be able to track all those people down if your asses are already getting handed to you?
Mm-hmm.
I get it, you're desperate, but...
I'm going to say this, and somebody will probably say, oh, you're racist, all that kind of stuff. There's something going on in the UK now with the amount of asylum seekers that are coming out here. It's getting ridiculous. I can see the point, and I'm not against it, but what I'm not against is maybe a family, a mother and a father and their children coming out here and getting a house because of war-torn country, and they need that kind of thing. I mean, know the busloads, the thousands and thousands of young guys out of the age of 18. I mean, every one of them was like fighting age, soldier age. And we all know that there's something going on. There is something going on. Do you know that here in the UK, in England actually, they're throwing out British soldiers' families out of their houses and military bases and giving those houses to the folk that's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how fucked up is that? They're meant to be, they're our soldiers, and their families are getting chucked out their houses to give them their houses.
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
And here's the thing: how else are these?
Corrupt.
How else are these sleeper cells getting in?
They're just coming. They're coming across the channel.
These sleepers. These sleepers. They're trying to. Their whole goal is to blend in like average everyday citizens. Yeah. It's well known that quite a few of them managed to slip through. There's been a few that's been caught, but there's a few that managed to slip through these asylum programs. Yeah. I mean, where I'm at here in the States, the local college here is one of the biggest ones for like Arab countries, and we said all the time.
See, this is the problem. Everybody thinks this is a British problem, but it's no. It's happening in America too, ladies and gentlemen. You have no idea. I've got a friend that stays near the Texas and Mexico border, and they were telling me that the border forces out there have been told just to let them walk across. Just to let them walk across. Yeah. I mean, there's something going on. There is something going on.
Yeah.
But what? We don't know.
Well, when it comes to Mexico, it's the fucking cartels, man.
Yeah. Remember there was a civil war broke out in Mexico, and that seems to have all been covered up now. What happened there?
It's the government's trying to crack down on the fucking cartels. That's what that is. Dude. Oh, okay. A friend of my mom's, she was telling us about this incident where one of her kids, they were just reading the paper, and they saw this story about a semi-truck, right?
Mm-hmm.
Filled with human organs and dead children.
Mm-hmm.
So that mother's sitting there having to try to explain to her young children, not even teenagers yet, why are people killing kids like that? A lot of these people don't want these asylum programs. And yeah, there's a lot of shit that gets stirred up from it.
Well,
but you also don't realize the majority of these people are just trying to get their families safe.
Yeah.
And right now,
look,
it's...
I've actually met in my village. Sorry for interrupting. I actually met in my village. I was talking to them, and both their husbands have been killed in, what do you call it, Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
And their sons have been killed there too.
Yeah.
With asylum seekers like that, yes, I say, give them a house, look after them, protect them and stuff like that. But it's getting to the point now where they're coming out, thousands are coming out.
Mm-hmm.
The world's fucked. It really is fucked. Everything's fucked.
Yeah.
It really
we need
is.
a complete, total system overhaul in order to fix everything.
That's no good.
I know.
It's not going to stop it, and this is planned. This is planned. All this is planned. I think, honestly, I kind of got quite a conspiracy here, but fuck it, I don't care. You think about it, right? Everybody's getting that jibby jab, right? Everybody's dropping down deed, right? See all these people that's coming out of here. I wonder if they've been vaccinated. Because imagine they weren't vaccinated, right? Everybody dropped down deed. Who's got to be the slaves of the rich and powerful that survive?
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to be the soldiers of the rich and powerful that survive? Do you know that the people that made that vaccination are not allowed to get the vaccination?
Mm-hmm.
The workers that made it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people don't realise. Some of the rich and famous don't even want people that's been vaccinated to fly their private jets. Because they ken people are just killing them. Look, I ken 36 people that have died since 2022. That have just dropped down dead, and every one of them's had a blood clot. I'm going to say this. Every one of them's had a blood clot. There's something going on. There is something going on. And it's... Yeah. And it's actually quite sad because you got all these conspiracy channels out there and they don't bring this up. They don't. And there is a few folk out there that's talking, you know. Hey, Chad Smith. But there is a few people out there. But it's sad. It really is sad that all these people care about is fame and money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Everybody knows. They don't want to admit it, but everybody knows. Something's not right about this whole vaccine thing.
I was talking to somebody the other day in my village, actually. I'm not going to say their name. And their friend worked at a research facility to do with vaccines. And when the vaccine first came out, the woman, she's a doctor, and this facility, it's a famous facility, it's actually in England, told her friends and family, do not in any circumstances get that vaccine. She lost her job. Like she was telling everybody, right? Look, see the polio vaccination, it took about 20 years for that thing to come out, or 10 or 20 years for that thing to come out, right? This was rushed. And this is a lot of people don't realise this too. That COVID vaccine, the patent for that COVID vaccination was made in 2015. See the testing kits that everybody got. Some of them had dates for 2017 on them, 2018 on them. So how did they kind of make them?
Hold on.
I know there's other strains of COVID
No.
and stuff like that.
No. There's something else. Have you seen the video clip of a gentleman? Say he was former CIA. Basically the title of the video that usually goes something along the lines of "Dying Man in Black Confesses."
I think I've seen something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Basically, it was this gentleman who was recruited into the CIA. He fit the profile. He had no real major family connections, no real friends, nothing like that. Underwent a series of mind-altering drugs, all this shit. He said by 2017, and you gotta remember, Anthony Fauci started talking about some sort of global outbreak.
Yep.
By 2017, Bill Gates. There's videos from the 1950s that said it's been long been predicted that by the year 2020, 2020, there was going to be a major virus outbreak of something that would be very akin to the influenza pandemic that killed off a bunch of people almost 100 years ago. I mean, think about it. Historically speaking, roughly about 20 years into a new century, there's been some sort of plague. And the reason why there's so much surrounding 2017 is that something happened right about there that forced them to push back by a few years.
Yeah. There's Football Factory.
That's a new one.
That's a new base subscriber. Thank you for coming. It wasn't given enough time, rushed out, works okay against COVID, but big side effects for some people that they are trying to hush up. And yes, doctor, before anyone asked. Yeah.
I mean, I'll say it. A lot of the people who've been following this show for a while know that
he's a doctor. That person's a doctor.
Okay. I don't know who the motherfucker is.
No.
I will say this. I just talk like that with everybody. Don't feel special. 1. 2. It was like a little over a year ago. Remember, I told you my grandmother actually had to go to the hospital because of a heart attack?
Yeah.
Right in the Widowmaker. She's survived. She's still going strong. That woman is too much of a battle axe to go down. The number of people that she knew got the vaccine. She had to do it because she was working at Walmart, and they were forcing all of their employees to get the vaccine. All of the people several people she knew who were in the very same line that she was, were also in the hospital the same time she was, all for our cardiac related issues. Some had strokes, some had heart attacks. Only one guy they could been wrote off as not being COVID related because apparently he liked to chug like 10 Red Bulls a day.
Yeah, you don't like drink that stuff. It's bad for you.
And she asked while they're there, she's seen all these people who got the vaccine around the same time she did. She asked the doctors, like, is it something about the vaccine that's doing this? Nothing. The doctors wouldn't say shit.
I'm going to say this, Tate. Have you heard the theory? And maybe Dobby Sock in the chat can help me with this one. Have you heard the one, Tate, maybe the Doctor Football Factory? I don't know if you know anything about this. And I've heard a lot of important people talking about this, but a lot of people, when they were in the hospital, were given high doses of this weird painkiller. And what it does is it restricts your breathing, and it basically euthanizes you.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a few people that died for that, and I was talking to their son, actually. One of them was their son. I'm not going to say who he was. I was talking to him. And he'd asked for the medical report, refused it, and he'd found out later on that they'd been given high levels of this, basically euthanizing them on the hospital. I'm telling you, look, it's been covered up. It's been covered up. There's been atrocities. You talk about the Germans and the Nazis in World War II. This is just ridiculous with what's been done here.
Where do you think we learned it?
Yeah. Nazis.
And first off, You also got to remember, and this is declassified information, so anybody can actually look this up.
I know.
No, I'll say this. No, this is not the first time something like this has happened. I believe it was back in the 1970s, where I believe the FBI was involved, that they were, for some reason, government was taking human remains, specifically of young children, to experiment for reasons they're not 100% sure on, possibly for some sort of experimentation. But anytime the families would try to go get the bodies, say like a child died in an accident or they got real sick, and they would try to get the bodies, so they could bury them.
Yep.
The hospitals would refuse. It's because several doctors have been busted taking payments by dissecting these bodies and giving the parts to some unnamed party.
Yeah.
This is not the first time something like this has happened.
It's weird you should say that, because I was actually talking to somebody that kens an undertaker down south, and he would go to the hospital to pick up the kids that had passed away, like the babies and stuff like that had passed away. And he went to pick them up one day, and he was told, "Oh, from now on, we've got our own cremation service." And he doesn't do it anymore. But he says, "I was sitting here with the family." He says, "We're doing it for you." And I think they're trying to cover. They know they're fucked up. I think the government know they're fucked up, and they're trying to cover it up. It's all going to come out. It will come out eventually, but I think half of the United Kingdom will probably be dead. It'll be too late. It'll be folk like us that are unvaccinated that are left. But maybe that's what there's all these people coming across for, is round all us up and put us in extermination camps.
That's why. When it comes to declassifying government documents, the process is about 50 or 60 years after the events took place, because everybody who was involved is likely either dead or old and senile, and close to death.
I will say this. I do think COVID was real. There was a virus, right? There was a virus, because I got no wheel when I taken the test, but then again, the test could have been anyway. I thought I was going to do, like, didn't affect my breathing in any which way. It just made me feel terrible. And I was unvaccinated. And then I was all right. Right? And I kind of look at people during the beginning that got COVID, they were unvaccinated. It didn't do nothing to them. It didn't kill them. It just made you feel terrible.
Yeah.
But I have noticed, why is it, right? They say that everybody should be vaccinated, right? I'm just going to fucking go on at this. Everybody should be vaccinated, right? And the unvaccinated are, "Oh, you should be vaccinated because you're putting everybody at risk." If everybody's vaccinated, right, run about me, right? Well, how am I putting them at risk? And here's the interesting thing. You're more likely to catch COVID if you've been vaccinated. Why is that? Because your immune system's been fucked because of the stuff they've put in you. And it's a fucking disgrace.
There is a legitimate counter argument to this. It's a lot like if you were to go get a flu shot, then get sick right afterwards. The main reason they say that is because it was already in your system, and they just added to it.
Yeah.
There's
No, you go, sorry.
Yeah, the Wuhan respiratory coronavirus lab. I wonder why people wonder where the hell that happens. It's a lot like if there was It's a lot like if there's been a chocolate spill in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and they try to say, "Oh, someone broke in and they raided the grocery store." I'm sorry, Hershey, Pennsylvania. It's a fucking chocolate factory. They're trying to put a Hershey factory not too far from me, actually.
Look, it was planned. There's evidence coming out that, I don't even know if I should say this, probably disappeared one night, but the Chinese were the ones that made that COVID virus. They were paid. They'd got that for somewhere else. They were paid.
They were researching
by US governments and British governments and all this. And it's the same with Ukraine. It's the same in the Ukraine. They're doing it there too. There's biolabs in Ukraine and all that days, along with where they're cutting up bodies and selling the body parts to places. Come on, guys, wake up. Wake up and smell the coffee, guys. You have no idea how corrupt your government is. The British government, the American government, the Canadian government, the French government. You have no fucking idea how corrupt these people are. Okay, I'm amazed that this will be left. I bet this gets taken down. Do you think it'll get taken down? Because we're talking about
I'm
this.
shocked. I'm shocked we haven't had more takedowns. To be completely honest with you. But then again, that's probably because of how we have this whole thing set up.
Yeah. So if you're watching this, whoever you are that like to take people's videos down, we're going out to multiple different locations. Good luck finding that.
Exactly. So in case there's any, I guess I will say this because we just had to have this conversation. In case there's anybody who does don't want to rant and that may be legally advised against, just remember that. And it's kind of hard for us to take them down for how far out we make sure to spread this.
Yeah. So please, everybody in the chat, share wide. And if you've got the abilities, please feel free to download a copy. You get what I mean? Feel free.
Oh, it's not that hard these days.
No, feel free to take a copy of this and share it among your friends and family and tell them to duplicate it. Look, they can't shut everybody up. It's going to come out. I know doctors out there that have lost their practices because they've come out and said about this.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It can be, and Dobby Sock there in the chat, she does quite a lot with this stuff. And it's so sad that our government is so corrupt. The world's government is so corrupt. And even I'm going to mention the name of the president, like Trump, for instance. Even he kens, I ken he's a bit of an idiot, but even he's come out and said there's something going on. That honestly, I think he's found out what's really going on.
Well,
it's
a lot like how Trump would say in the debates he knows something's fucked up in the system because he uses the same system.
What's that with the football factory? That's interesting. A year before the Coca League, there was a World Army Games. Did you hear about the attack from the US Army on the Chinese? I did not hear about that.
I think I've heard something about that one, but it quickly disappeared.
Like everything else.
Yeah.
Nothing isn't surprising anymore. Exactly, Dobies.
I know. And unfortunately, because of how many people are fighting the vaccine, they're looking into how to distribute it among the food supply.
Yeah, they're putting it into food, and that's why I'm saying don't buy the burgers at 5 cents a burger or 50 pence a burger at McDonald's. Well, Football Factory, thank you. We will look that up after. Go look it up. We will. It's fucking shocking. It really is.
I mean why do you think Trump has so many indictments going against him right now?
Trump's got many indictments because they know because the people that's really in charge know that if Trump gets back in power, they're fucked because he will go after them. He will round them all up.
Trump has so many indictments in order to try to dissuade the people to basically put him in power because they know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, right now the bet's going between Trump and Robert Kennedy.
Robert Kennedy's all right. I mean, but then again, he'll open up a can of worms because he'll want to find out what happened to John F. Kennedy, won't he?
Yeah.
But also in The Simpsons, bringing up The Simpsons again, The Simpsons predicted the president would be shot. So,
well, it should also be considered, I don't know if it's been corrected since then, but Robert Kennedy was also talking about how not too long ago, he was being denied bodyguard Secret Service for running for president. And it's standard protocol for every presidential candidate to have protection.
To be purely honest with you, I don't trust any of them now. I just don't trust any of them anymore. The health system is corrupt. Everything is corrupt. And all this climate bullshit that's coming out and all, putting cars, speed zones down 20 mile an hour, they put the speed limit down there. 20 mile a fucking hour in a 30 zone. And they're wanting to put it down to 20 zones down to 10 mile an hour. Have you heard that? It's ridiculous. Like, you can, your car will actually produce more harmful CO2 going slower. Mm-hmm. Honestly, what's this here? The football factory. US soldiers came home sick from China, or did go sick in the first place? See, that's interesting. That
as someone who's spent time in a Chinese hospital, I'll just say it does not take much.
You get the private hospitals, though. You get the private ones that are like.
In China, oh hell no. The medical care in China is one of their least priorities.
No.
I will say I've personally been in a Chinese hospital. It was one of the most horrifying experiences of my life.
What's that's interesting because nobody saw kind of see football factories comments. I don't know why that is. Must be a different channel zone. Must be on a different channel. See, that's what the thing is. We've got so many different channels. So even if they take this down,
if they take one down, several more take its place.
And then we just copy and put it back up again.
It's like we have the YouTube, we have the Facebook, we have the Twitters, we have our own streaming services coming up. We had the Spreaker, we had the Spotify, we had the iHeartRadio. We're damn near on every major platform now.
Yeah. It's please people wake up. Don't be afraid to say against the government. Maybe they don't want you saying against the government. Maybe they're like, ooh, we're coming to get you. Ooh. Well, that kind of thing. Fuck them. If everybody stands up against it, it'll stop it. I'm not saying have a revolution or anything like that. Or
it's going to have to come down to it.
It's going to have to come to it. Why do you come down that? It's no liable myself. It's going to come to the part where the British people, the American people, the Canadian people, the Australian people, everybody is going to have to stand up and say that enough is enough. And if it means getting a new government, so be it. Enough is enough. But see the people they know that they're going after because they're actually making a difference. They're actually physically going after. You see what's happened to that Russell Brand?
Oh, yeah.
They're saying he was raping people and he was pillaging and doing all this kind of stuff and that. No, that wouldn't have happened to him if he'd stuck with them and did everything they wanted to do.
You have to take into consideration about how every major historical figure in recent history has had FBI files built against him. Marilyn Monroe, Gandhi, Martin Luther King, fucking Jimi Hendrix.
I know.
Every major figure that is able to gain a wide enough spread audience gets profiled by the FBI as a potential threat.
Have you ever heard the conspiracy theory with Jimi Hendrix?
What's that?
That he's Morgan Freeman.
No, they do look alike.
Aye, I'm serious. They say that you came at folk alive. They say Elvis is still alive. Don't be shocked. I've got it now, Chris. What
I was about to say, if Elvis was still alive, he's pushing 100, ain't he?
Hey, mama. But look,
yeah, because there's a certain janitor around there that has a little too much going on with him right now. That you have to wonder.
What's that? Once, for starters, farmers should be allowed to make their own decisions instead of the EU. Again, Britain's meant to be have left the EU, but we're still getting bossed about with them.
I was about to say, I thought, what, did Brexit finally die down? I mean, what the hell happened there?
I've got friends, farmer friends, and there's fields all around about me, and they're all empty. They don't grow it. They used to grow barley and stuff in them and wheat and stuff, but they've not grown anything this year. They're all overgrown. And I actually says to one of them, I says, why you know planting anything or putting anything on them? And he says, oh, the EU's giving us subsidies, we're giving us money to keep them, we're not to plant anything. It's for bees and stuff like that. Football factory. There's no money for nothing. Everything is cutbacks. The schools, hospitals, the police. It's simple that power's alive, high off the hog. Exactly. Look, What is money? Nowadays, what is money? It's made up. The government print it, right? If they need merit, they just print more. Think about it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's kind of the issue behind inflation right now.
Yeah. I mean, they're going on about how everything's going to collapse with the financial system. And why don't they just reset it and start that again?
Because I want, for those of you who don't understand why, take a little rock, yay big.
Yeah.
Build a house on top of that.
Right.
Build a full scale, I'm talking not like a little Lego house, a full size house.
Yeah.
See how well that stands.
Well, we'll start for a little long. Tupperware at one side for a start.
Exactly. Only 5 to 10% of the world's money is physical currency.
Yeah. It's all controlled. And they're wanting to bring in this digital currency.
Exactly. So it's even be more make believe.
Did you see it coming out of China where they've got this digital currency already? And there was one woman talking about it, and because she stood out of line and said something she shouldn't have, they shut her bank account and wouldn't let her buy anything.
China would do that.
Right? But they're actually talking about out here, and this might sound good for everybody. They're wanting to bring in a universal basic income of £1,650 a week. A month for free. It's a month, so it's $1,600 for every person.
I've heard of it. Yeah, I've heard of it being experimented with, and it's actually doing pretty well.
Aye, so imagine everybody gets £1,600 a month. You can be a multi-millionaire. You can be working 7 days a week. You will still get that money, right? You don't have a job, you can still have that money, right? But there's control with that. When they bring in the CBD system, right? What's going to happen is you're like, oh, I need to go and visit my sister. Just hypothetically, I'm making something up here. I'm going to go and visit my sister. I've not got a sister, by the way. I'm just making this up. So I'm going to go and visit my sister or my brother somewhere, right?
It's like I thought you said you had a sister.
No, I don't have a sister. I've got 2 brothers, right? I'm going to go and visit my brother. I need to go and put petrol in the car. I go to put petrol in the car and they're like, oh, you've already filled your car up twice this week. You've had enough of your allowance. You can't spend your money. Or when you drive out a certain point, when you drive out your village a certain point, right, your bank card, your CBD currency doesn't work. And then that's where the 15-minute cities come in, because then you walk everywhere and you only buy what they allow you to buy. So if you're in that 15-minute city and your card only works in that 15-minute city, the shops could only stock certain things. So if you fancied a chocolate bar, a Mars bar, you wouldn't be able to get one. Because as soon as you went outside that 15 minutes zone, you'd be fucked.
Well,
that's how it all works.
Over here in the US, Hershey factory will probably figure out some way to lobby.
Mm-hmm. What's that? They want to reset, but they don't need all of us. Football factory. Dobby Sock, have you noticed our trees are not as beautiful colours they used to be? Not as much welding. I have noticed that.
Yeah, it's happening over here too.
Yeah. It's as if the planet kens if something's happened.
I mean, look how quickly wildlife returned when everybody was under lockdown. The planet knows something's up.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just... This is kind of going into the spiritual territory, but the planet is far from just some big dumb rock in space. It knows.
It's alive.
There's a level of sentience.
Of course there is. It's been here for trillions of years. Yeah, I mean, it's been here for a very, very long time. Nobody really knows what's at the core of the earth and all that. Nobody really knows what's there. They've had guesses and tried to drill.
Yeah, we can have It's like we can have educated guesses because of what we can do here on the surface, but that's about it.
I mean, we believe space is empty and void and full of radiation in the air and stuff like that because that's what they've taught us. But it could be totally different. It could be totally, absolutely, completely, and utterly different. We're just going by what folk have taught us when we went to school and stuff, or what we see.
I know. Unfortunately, like people have said before, while there is a basis in truth in all of it, we also have so much counter information coming at us at the same time. We can't necessarily trust anything anymore. We don't know who to trust.
Well, that's actually interesting what the Smith family say. And we put a point to this. They've started to grow their own food so we don't have to pay for stores and prices. But here's an interesting thing. Have you seen all that? And it's been happening in America quite a lot. A lot of people growing their own produce, right?
And the government's coming in to stop it.
Not just that, they've been waking up the next day because somebody's poured poison all over their plants.
You know, there was actually an incident, if I remember, it would actually be closer to Smith family, where it was like this community garden thing. They grew all this fruit and produce to help the homeless. Someone spread salt all over the ground.
Yeah. That was
someone salted the lands.
That was here in the UK, and somebody poured salt.
There was one in the US too.
Yeah, there's one in the US. It was a community garden, and it would have fed everybody in the community, but no anymore because they killed it all. They had to buy from the supermarket.
There is a way around it to where you can ingrain the salt and actually make the ground a little bit more viable, but still.
I take the top layer off from that. Football factory, something has been killing the honeybees the last 15 years and don't hear much about it. I have heard that too.
Yeah, but you hear about it, but here's the thing. It also gets to the point where they realize people aren't paying attention, so they stop saying something.
But nobody wants to say anything anymore because they're fearing in case they put somebody's nose out of joint.
They're feeling judgment.
The point where the galaxy where is now the phone provides where deep core ice is drilling has proven that.
Well, some of the aliens have said that the planet is kind of like the equivalent of a nature preserve because it was so far out on the edge of the galaxy. So, maybe.
See, that's interesting with the broken on the football factory. Sorry, bring that up. Football factory. Yeah. You bring it up because it's not letting me. There we go.
It was bringing it up.
Food factory. My dad has been hives. He says that the mites that are resisting treatment, so that's obviously genetically modified mites.
Well, sometimes they can naturally build up their own immunity.
Or naturally build up a thing. But it's look, the world's messed up. Something dramatically needs to change. I honestly wish an alien race would just come in here and take over for about 10, 20 years and fix the place. Because that's what it's needing. But obviously they can, because obviously we'll have to try and fix these things ourselves.
Because if they go to take over and fix it for us, we're going to expect them to do it again when we fuck up.
Yep. I mean, again, that their technology is that advanced. If we manage to do it ourselves, they can help us reclaim this planet back. But we need to start doing it, guys. We need to start standing up for our rights and stuff like that. There is people doing it, but a lot of folk out there are just too paranoid. Oh, I don't want to, because then I'll not be able to go to Facebook because I'm banned.
Exactly.
And I can't play Candy Crush with my pals.
Yeah, and here's the thing. And we see it all the time with some of the guests we have on our show. They have physical death threats.
No.
I've seen it myself. They have physical death threats being manipulated by some fucktard that clearly has some sort of obsession. You would think this motherfucker is getting angry because he owes this chick alimony.
Are we talking about Elena here and the people that
That's one of them. That's one of them. She's not the only one.
And then Danny's getting attacked too.
Yeah, I know. To where we had to take down the interview with her.
What do you mean by to take the interview down?
Danny asked me to take down the interview she did with us because of the shit that's going on.
Why? I never cared about that.
Well, it's hard to actually get you to talk to me lately.
We'll talk about that after the show.
Yeah,
because that's private.
It's getting
but that just shows you.
Yeah,
they're fucked. The younger generation, they're too stupid to even do anything. Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's part of the plan.
Some of them are all right. Some of them are idiots. It's got to be that. It's got to be that ideology where the guy wakes up in the future and everybody's an idiot.
Yeah, idiocracy.
Yeah, it is. That's it. I sometimes feel like that sometimes because I go outside and I see the complete idiots. I seen a guy one day, he was on his phone and he walked out in front of all the traffic. Everybody's screeching at a halt and didn't even look.
That's why you had to install lights in the ground at their crosswalks because there's so many people getting hit because they were playing on their phones.
I have taught Linda Smith family to handle herself, so let someone try. But the thing is, there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there that are just disappearing off the face of the earth.
And there's several that are all of a sudden getting all the praise.
Yeah. A lot of fake ones are getting that. Because let's face it, there is fake folk. There's fake folk with paranormal. There's fake folk with UFOs.
I know. We called out some individuals, and ironically, you started having people trying to hack into your Facebook shortly after that episode. Now, didn't you?
That's right. Somebody tried to hack into my Facebook, but luckily I've got it highly secured.
We already have the name.
I've got the name, and I've reported it to Facebook. So
whether or not Facebook actually does anything is one thing.
Yeah,
I feel sorry for that dude's poor wife.
Yeah,
I mean, it's always the ugly ones.
I know, but anyway. Do we have anything planned for next week? Or we having a weekend off? Or because you'll be going to your big event soon. You'll be going to the UFO event with all the aliens.
Well, yeah, I'll be down in Orlando.
You know,
and that's not until the 20th of October. But next week we don't really have anything planned, so maybe we'll just take a break to get caught up because I'm the only one doing any work around here. You're my co-host. You should be helping me.
Lawrence, I'll try and find some guests then. If you got somebody. Oh, crazy. Somebody tried to hack in at my Facebook. Luckily I've got it set up so you have to send to my phone. You've got to have my mobile number set up on it. And the idiot used his own name. What a complete idiot. But there you go. That's a story for another time, as Mike the Naked Bigfoot would say. And he's in the chat because I have reported it as hacking.
Yep. So
there you go.
Obviously, that weekend after the Bald and Bonkers anniversary, we'll probably have that night of. I don't know if Chris plans on doing anything, but I'm just going to be away from home base that weekend. So
I may do something. Jigging away, won't you?
Oh.
Football Factory. I was in the TA and training in Norway when we seen the UFOs and we were told to shut up. It was the US Air Force and fancy technology.
I've heard several soldiers say that.
Hey, Football Factory, you should post your link in the chat because your channel looks very interesting. Which channels are coming through?
I don't know. You already know my connection sucks. So I can't have 1,000 tabs open at once while we're trying to stream. But I will say this: we do have a new book that's getting ready to come out on October 15th. It's how Are You Afraid of Ghosts? It's a starter guide to ghost hunting. Goes through several cultures, beliefs on the afterlife. Then helps you get started on getting out into the field. If you subscribe to our $10 tier on Patreon, you can actually get a copy of that book, a digital copy, I should say, of the book for free. That's available now, and you don't have to wait till October.
Yeah. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. And we might be doing something at Halloween for Mike. We don't know yet. Is it the TV network? Replaying his shows.
Maybe.
I actually watched the other one the night, so I'm actually going to watch one the night actually, because it's coming up to many past.
Because you also got to remember, while I'm staying, I wanted to do something for Mike too. It's the year anniversary, and he was a good friend of ours. I do work that night, so don't try to be signing me up for too much shit.
Fine. We're going to send you in one of the most haunted locations he's went to, and you could go and investigate it with your camera in a live stream. I'll sit in the command center, and make sure everything's fine.
I would not trust you with my equipment.
You'll be fine. You ever react?
No.
You ever react?
No, motherfucker. You got a girlfriend now. You need to start toughening up to impress your lady.
It's fine. It's fine.
She realized you have a tiny...
Honestly, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah. It is what it is, and he is trying to fucking change my name.
No, I'm not. Would I do such a thing? I would never ever do that.
You are a dirty liar, and we should probably go off the air.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe anywhere you see Bald and Bonkers for even more insanity. Be sure to spread the love to the Bald and Bonkers Boys' other endeavors. And a special thank you to our audience, guests, and everyone else who helps make this crazy ride happen. Amazing things are ahead. Learn more by visiting www.baldandbonkers.net. See you next time. Much love and take care.